Alright, so level 38, ready to get your third class. But again, you got two choices: the light path, the dark path. Which path do you take? But there's something about the light. You're going to stand in the light from now on, and we're going to go down the light path. So let's see what she has in store for us. This, of course, is the Rune Seer, Tier 3 class, Angela. With a new class, obviously, there's going to be some new goodies, so let's see what they are. This is status effect resistance increased by 30%. This is quality of life. There are enemies that like to hit you with these, especially a certain post-game boss, so this could be useful. But I wouldn't go Rune Seer just to get this passive. Alright, new class. You're going to get a new class strike. This one is Ton Shatter. This one is this is a large AoE. It's similar to the Grand Diviners, but it does have a decent amount of animation time, so the enemies may walk out of range. But still, it's just a big, massive AoE class strike, and it is rather good. So, of course, the waifu, the costume, most important part. Here we are. She's actually wearing clothing here, so not a lot of skin. So this may deter most of you. Alrighty. Let's take a look at her moves. So the deal with Angela's tier 3 classes is 3 of the 4 get a non-elemental third tier spell. That would be the Grand Diviner, which would be the weakest, but tied for the largest AoE. Then you have the Archmage, which would get the smallest AoE, but the second in power. And we have the Rune Seer here, which gets absolutely nothing. The thing with the Rune Seer is, the Rune Seer, the quality of life is as good as the other classes, because what we get instead is a third tier elemental spell. Now, this is quite powerful and has a very large area of effect. We're looking at 19,350. So if you are going to be playing to elemental weaknesses, this is the way to go. You will do more damage than a non-elemental spell because of the affinity, and so this class is more high maintenance on top of the already high maintenance Dear Angela. So keep this in mind. This is the theme for the Rune Seer. Also worth noting is we get cheat, and the highest level enemies in the game, random mobs that you will find, are level 71. And bosses, they would be 74, and for the highest boss that you will find, it will be 84, I believe. So as long as you have outleveled your enemy, you're gonna get 20% damage. This is quite good, and generally throughout the game, even on your first playthrough, if you're every pack of enemies you come across, you annihilate them. You should definitely have a level advantage on every, if not all, enemy that you come across. So this is quite good, especially at this point in the game where it's very easy to outlevel the content. So this is quite good. And again, we're going to want to go 27 points here, and so that we get cheat and the 3rd level spell. Same deal with stamina. Now, what's also worth noting is these 3rd tier spells actually come with status effects. So this would be chance of burning. Over here, this would be chance of petrify. So again, these really only affect random encounters. They're not going to work on the boss. So that, you know, it's unfortunate, but still they do a really high amount of damage, and if you're playing accordingly and exploiting elemental weaknesses and affinities, you know, these are quite powerful. Again, you skip stamina, you only go in here for the abilities. We want the Stone Cloud. Intelligence, you're going to max intelligence. Intelligence gives you magical damage, and it gives us Annihilate and our 3rd tier ice spell, water, ice, what have you. Again, this will inflict freezing, but you know, these status effects really aren't important. You just want to just drop the big spell and watch all of the enemies explode. Annihilate, this is your instant death spell. You know, it's not as powerful as Dark Force, but I mean, I suppose I suppose you could use this. The AI likes to throw it out, but honestly, it's I don't know, it's a non-factor, I would say. She has special effect too, but again, this is only for random encounters, and you know, and that's if they're hit with the status effect. But if you're playing the elemental rock paper scissors game properly, you will always win, and you will be annihilating your enemy, and you won't really care about any of these status effects. So max out intelligence, it's quite good. Same deal for spirit. You know, the dark path for Angela does struggle with MP, so this could possibly help. And yes, these do stack, so you would be getting 5 per kill. You know, if you want to use it, I suppose, maybe. Again, you're going to get 21. You're going to get, for 21 points, you're going to get that extra MP. It's, you know, it's, I don't know, it's your call. For luck, you're obviously going to want to pick up the 3rd tier wind spell and effect boost all. This makes it so that you have a higher chance of inflicting status ailments such as silence, burning, freezing, petrify, and this works for everyone. This is not a chain skill, so Angela must equip it, but the effect will work for everyone on your team. This is pretty much it for Angela here. You need to play elemental rock paper scissors, but if you do, you're going to do tons of damage, and this is the dark path, so she will have even more intelligence than the light path. She's also going to have wound magic and of course cheat, so she's having some pretty good damage modifiers on top of elemental affinity. What do we want to put on her? Let's do, well, first we're going to do cheat. Let's do, where is her? Do limit break. We're going to do wound magic. Let's see, wound magic. From here, you know, it's she's not getting the she's not going to get the pinpoint 2 from the light path. You know, again, cheat is kind of the light paths kind of merged into one, whereas you had tough, it was 20% to mobs, you had judge 20% to bosses, whereas here you just have cheat. You just cheat and get both of them. So aptly named, I suppose. Let's see, she really doesn't need too much. I mean, it's and she really doesn't have that much. Limit break. And again, I'm trying to just keep the abilities that the character gets, that are, that they get in their trees. Obviously, as I've shown numerous times, there's just tons of abilities you can put on them to make them absolutely ridiculous. And this is namely, like, for example, Obsidian Power, 0 MP needed for moves and spells in battle. Obviously, you're going to put this on Angela. Once you start getting the crazy skills, you don't have to worry about MP. So it's things like that. But I just want to kind of try to keep it to. But even with this is a ton of damage. All right, so let's go have a look at her. Let's go have a look at her class strike. Alright. Look at this. And boom. So, just a massive AoE. But again, sometimes, it is kind of lengthy before the actual damage, will happen. So they may just run out of the way, like this guy here. See, totally missed, but still, you just play smart. Should be able to hit them all. Alrighty, so let's take a look at these new crazy moves. Alright, so look at that. So lots of damage. The cast time isn't as slow as the non-elemental spells on the Grand Diviner and Archmage. So they're a little quicker, but they do. Some of them only hit once. I believe Earth hits once and Ice hits once. No, it doesn't. Which one hits once? Maybe it's just the Ice that hits once. Yeah, okay, and then the Fire hits like hundreds of times. Look at that. Hundreds of times. You see how many times that hit? Okay, anyway. Again, this is where she's going to get her. For now, it's probably the weakest of her classes. Again, you have to exploit weakness, but the Dark Path obviously is going to get another class, and when she gets that final class, this class is going to be really good. It's just that she still has to wait a bit, but it's all right. Let's see if I can get the Ben and Bill shadow guy. So the issue is with the Ben and Bill type enemies, they resist the 4 basic elements, and the 4 basic elements is where we have our big magic damage coming from. So it's I don't know. You're really just gonna have to play the elemental weakness, and she has a good class strike always. She can always fall back on that, and you have cheat, so you can do whatever you want. It's just that you're missing the non-elemental spells that you can just have that quality of life with. Alright, well, that's probably a good time to end the video. Still good, of course. It is on the Dark Path, so there's one more class that you can ascend to, and that's really going to help this one shine. But then again, it's going to help the next one shine too. So alright, well, I'll see you again. Take care now.